Hello, beautiful earth angels. Happy. Welcome. Welcome. Just pressing go live on Instagram. There we go. All right. Welcome, everyone, to Earth Angels Unite. So happy to be here. This is podcast 130 Suspend Judgment and Illness. So, judgment blocks miracles. When we judge our body for being sick or in pain, we freeze healing energy and make the experience heavier than it already is. The angels keep reminding that judgment adds insult to injury. And for those of you who are highly sensitive, judgment can feel hardwired into our nervous system, and it can feel like moving a mountain to release it. So I want to thank everyone who will be here today, whether you're here live, whether you're connecting with the replay. I'm so deeply grateful for all of you, you sharing your light and your medicine. So my intention with these offerings with these podcasts, is to create a space of transformation, that you come one person and you leave another person that you leave transformed. And it's an honor to come on weekly and share my medicine with you. And how do we do that, right? We're shining the light, our heart light, the angelic light, our soul light on the pain, right? The wound, the issues in the tissues. And today it's about we're shining the light on the part of us that holds judgment. And we do this, thank you, angels. And when we gather together, we're more powerful. So I'm going to be sharing teachings from my debut book, Receiving from Your Angels, 4 practices to heal your pain with angel love. And the angels are having me look at something. Put my book in here. And bookmark. And sharing, angelic pain relief questions, pulling a card for you, tuning in, right? Doing an inner journey to help you to relax and cherish your body, to receive and trust your intuition, and to get to your next level of angelic pain relief. And so my name is Jill Kempner, angel coach and author. As an angel coach, what I help my clients do is to heal the pain in their bodies with the love of the angels. And I just want to say this about cycle breakers, because this is what came through to me. And I wrote a little download about it because it was like really powerful. And that's who I'm here to serve. So I'm helping my coaching clients, those cycle breakers, to shine the light of the angelic realm, which is pure unconditional love, onto that pain, that pattern, that wound, right? Could be PTSD, it could be an autoimmune issue, it could be chronic illness, chronic pain, it could be PTSD, right? Whatever that wound is in our system, we're bringing the light of the angels into it through the relax, release, receive process that I outline in my book. So it's super vulnerable and courageous, but it also feels good. Like, it feels good. It's going to bring relief to look at that wound in a different way. So I'm here to help these beautiful cycle breakers, right? We're the souls that are done being victims, right? We're finished with blame. We're finished taking things personally. And we're ready to rise in the truth of who we are. And what does that mean? We are a soul having a human experience. So we understand this, right? And then we choose to walk through, let me say this again. We understand that we are souls having a human experience, and that we chose to walk through pain, trauma, hardship in order to approach it from a spiritual, a mystical, a magical healing space. I talk about reframing. So, like the earth angel and earth angels, we're highly sensitive and highly intuitive. And we're carrying energy, we're attuning to energy that moves beyond normal human limits, right? Cycle breakers are, we're learning, and I include myself in this, right? To trust ourselves again, to love ourselves more, and to remember our divinity. That's really what we're here to do. And when we do that for ourselves, we radiate that out to the world. So, cycle breakers are bold, we're brave, we're courageous. And yes, often the black sheep of the family. Here's what came through, and it's so beautiful. And I was so proud of this download when I came through because it was right before we hopped on. Hi, say hi if you're here. We were never meant to fit in because the cycle was never meant to continue. We came here to break it. That's what a cycle breaker is. So I hope that if that resonates with you, you're in the right space. And I'm going to share a little bit about my personal story and a little teaching. So yeah, say hi if you're here. Hey, Amy. Let me know if that resonated with you. Okay, so my relationship with judgment started early. Growing up, I often watched my parents struggle to navigate daily life. My mom was the black sheep in her family. She was labeled too emotional, too sensitive, too different. And that judgment she experienced as a child and young adult spilled into our relationship. So as a little girl, I often felt judged by her. And in turn, I judged her back, right? Because it was like the egos meeting. And I say this with great, deep compassion for my mom and our journey together. And a lot of things, I'm talking about when I was a child, a lot of things changed as we both grew, right? So I told myself, she wasn't really there for me. Over time, judgment became a shield, a protector that I thought could keep me safe from bad people. And of course, oh, my favorite card in the deck just fell to the ground. A prayer I've been saying all morning as I'm like doing all this up leveling in my business. The situation is already resolved. So remind me to pick it up, angels. I also witnessed my parents judging themselves constantly, and I also learned that judgment was normal. By my teens and 20s, judgment even felt like an ally, helping me to discern who or what was safe. But after my dark night of the soul, which I've talked about many times, like over the course of really my angel, when I was promoting Angel Reiki last year and marketing Angel Reiki and talking about it, I realized that that dark night of the soul is what led me to create practice number 1, renew your devotion, to create a daily angel practice, to recommit to my Reiki practice, was that dark night of the soul. I realized that judgment wasn't protecting me anymore, right? It was no longer protecting me. It was actually hindering my growth. So it had really become thinking about judgment like a trauma response, one that kept me disconnected from love, self-love, maternal love, divine love. So even now, decades later, I notice how easily, and that's why I created this podcast and this message and this download today from an experience I had week ago, 2 weeks ago or something. And I was trying to remember exactly what it was. And I was like, it doesn't matter. This is what came forward. So just trusting that, right? Because right now I'm experiencing a flare up in my Crohn's disease. I would say it's sort of mild, medium, but it's still there. And my blood pressure's a little higher than it needs to be right now. And, you know, my body's showing me just how much stress it has carried and how it's processing all of these life experiences that I've went through over the past 5 years, 6 years since 2018, since my brother's traumatic car accident. So this is something really important. Judgment is a default. So, and my default part, right, the judgmental part, still wants to take over, right? I'm hearing the voice that says, you should have handled the stress better. You should be healthier. You should know more by now. In relationship to these physical issues. But the angels reminding me over and over again, right? Even as an angel coach, even someone who teaches this work needs to practice suspending judgment. I remember when I first learned about suspending judgment was actually in the Course of Miracles. And I was taking a 6-week class or whatever on the Course in Miracles. And up to that, I had never heard of the Course in Miracles before this, 6-week little mini class. And I love the way the teacher led this. Actually, this was my IET teacher. And before I studied IET with her, I took the Course in Miracles. And the idea of suspending judgment, this was sort of like my mid to late 20s. I was like 28, 29 years old. I never even considered it. But I loved it, the word and the idea of suspended, right? It's like, it wasn't harsh. It was like this gentle, like, okay, just pause, right? For now. And I was like, ooh, I really love that. This is where the rubber meets the road, right? It's not about being perfect. It's about remembering self-compassion in the moment. So we have to catch ourselves. Raise your hand if you have a judgmental part, like that default judgmental part, because of your traumas, because of your challenges, because of your difficulties. Thank you, Amy. So for the last 2 decades, I've been slowly chipping away at this massive mountain of judgment that I've built up inside of me. And the angels keep teaching me, when we judge our body and our illness, we add insult to injury. It's like, right? Suspending judgment can sometimes feel like moving a mountain, but it's really the doorway to miracles. So it's like catching it. And one of the things that can support you in suspending judgment, right, is first starting to recognize, where is this part in your body? Where does the judgment live in your body? Is it in your head? Is it in your heart? Is it in your belly? Is it in more than one place? Good news. I always tell my clients when I'm working with them, right? If judgment is in more than one, if a part is in more than one place, and sometimes they'll like kind of cringe, and I'm like, no, that's a good thing. If it's in more than one place, it's ready to heal. It's ready to release. So where's the judgment in your body? Tune in. I'm going to say my gut, because that's where I feel like so much stuff is happening for me. So it's recognizing, where this part is in your body, and then having something that shifts you from judgment to compassion. So what I teach my clients, what I talk about in my book, is that devotional mantra, right? Putting your hands on your heart. This is the gateway of your angel's love. Taking a cleansing breath, which begins to quiet the mind. At least slow the mind, right? Shifting from the thinking mind, the overthinking mind, into the feeling heart. And then saying something positive, something powerful. And what I teach my clients is, I'm devoted to receiving love and compassion from my angels. That was so interesting. I had my morning yoga music on. So I don't know if that was coming through the speakers. That's so funny. I didn't even realize it. It was so like quiet and peaceful. And just interrupting the judgment, pausing the judgment, suspending the judgment. So work with that mantra, right? Use that mantra. I'm gifting to you, I'm sharing with you, and see if it begins to shift that. Now, of course, there can be deeper work, right? Like for me, growing like 0 to 7, when my root chakra was developing, I experienced a tremendous amount of judgment. So it does feel hardwired into, it feels like it's in my DNA. So I may need to do, more energy work, more parts work, more angel work to create that shift. Right. But it's like in those moments, if we can pause the judgment, suspend the judgment with that mantra, and then get back into the flow of our angel's love, that's part of breaking the cycle. Okay. All right, downloads. Excuse me. So in my coaching programs, I'm always helping my clients see things differently from a higher perspective, from a soul's perspective, right? From an angelic perspective. And then this begins to infuse the pain or the wound with compassion, right? What do I say? I was saying this yesterday to my hairdresser. Compassion is always the answer, right? Compassion is always the answer. Love is always the answer, right? How can I have more compassion for this, for my physical body, for the ailment, for the issue in the tissue, right? Because when we put judgment on top of the Crohn's, it's heavier. When we put judgment on top of the high blood pressure, it's heavier. So let me just see what else the angels are saying, because I felt like they were saying something else. Thank you. So what does judgment do in illness? We just started talking about that, right? With chronic pain worsens or feels worse when we say my body is failing me. Autoimmune flares intensify when we say I'm too sensitive, I'm too weak, right? All these heavy thoughts, these judgmental thoughts, which come from a part of us that has trauma, that comes from a part of us that has this wound of self-judgment. Depression can deepen with the thought, I should be stronger. And the illness can feel unbearable, whatever it is. If we think this is a punishment, right? Why am I being punished? Like, that's not a healthy question or a helpful question, right? So the judgment makes illness heavier. Compassion lightens the load. So we want to move towards the medicine of compassion, open up towards the medicine of compassion, Kate, and self-compassion. And so I want to read something. I want to share something from my book that the angels wanted me to bring in about self-compassion. Hey, good to see you, right? That self-compassion is non-negotiable. And what does that mean? The path of growth, the path of breaking the cycle, the path of remembering who you are is a path of self-compassion. So A, we have to catch ourselves when we're judging ourselves, and B, we have to apply the medicine of compassion to us. And it's not natural, right? Self-compassion isn't natural because we live in a world full of fear. And so we have to unlearn judgment and remember who we are, remember our magnificence, remember our divinity, remember. So self-compassion takes lifetimes to cultivate, right? This is like mastery. And so we have to be patient. Very, very, very patient with ourselves as we're learning to embody self-compassion. I mean, I've literally been working on this for decades. And still I go back to my default of judging myself, my illness, my pain. And then I'm like, why do I feel so heavy? And I'm like, oh, I've been judging it. Let me shift. Um, Something my coach said, she said, self-compassion sets up an energetic blueprint that magnetizes that vibration to you. Like, how cool is that? And when we practice self-compassion on a daily basis, right, a commitment to this, our physical body can carry more love, can carry more angelic love, can carry more soul's light. That's how we grow. Yes? So it really needs to be daily, it needs to be intentional, it needs to be consistent, right? The consistent practice of self-compassion. Um, so understanding that self-compassion is not indulging in self-pity. It's not passive. It's not for the weak. My coach used to say it's not for the weak. It requires no effort, no devotion, no creativity to judge yourself. Like, whoa. Love that. Mm. This is interesting. This could be a whole podcast. Self-compassion is not enabling unhealthy behaviors. Like, oh, I'm feeling really down right now, so I'm going to eat a whole pint of ice cream. I'm having compassion for myself. If we know that the ice cream causes digestive issues or just makes us not feel good, that's not self-compassion, right? Um, it's not indulging, right? It's not victim mentality, which is what us psycho breakers are here are done with, and it's not hiding from yourself, right? It is about it's an active practice. So it takes like mental energy and heart energy and core energy, right, to have compassion for ourselves in the face of the heaviness of judgment, the heaviness of illness or pain or imbalance or trauma, whatever it is that's coming up. So self-compassion, my coach always talked about this, it accelerates our spiritual growth. Why? Part of because of that it creates that blueprint that allows more compassion to magnetize us. It raises our frequency and allows us to carry more angelic light, more soul love. It's fully seeing yourself. So this is where the work comes, right? Instead of hiding, we're fully seeing ourselves, which means we're seeing the parts of us that we hate, the parts of us that we deny, the parts of us that we exile, the parts of us we think everybody else doesn't like, right? And that's like eye-opening. It's vulnerable, it's tender. Self-compassion is magnetic. And ultimately liberating, right? If we can really practice it, we get liberated from the samskara of judgment and self-judgment. So you're starting to understand that this is an essential practice, to suspend judgment when you're in pain, to suspend judgment when you're experiencing a health challenge, a health issue, a health crisis, a new diagnosis. I know last year when I got diagnosed with high blood pressure, I was like, wait, what? Last October. And I was like, she's like, yeah, you have hypertension. I'm like, wait, what? And immediately I went into, it's all my fault. And, what did I do wrong? And I even had this part that was blaming, my mom and my brother because of all the stress we had, endured, and then I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. This isn't going to help my high blood pressure. And I had to suspend judgment. I had to practice so much. I had to go on a medication. Soon as out of my doctor's mouth, she said, I don't want you to have a stroke. I was like, oh, sign me up. And we ended up finding one that was good for several other things. I just went on it wasn't enough. So I had to go on a higher dose. And then I got a really unwelcome, just recently, a really unwelcome side effect. Like very unwelcome. And I was like, I don't want this side effect. And I actually had to contact another doctor to convince my current doctor that was the side effect was from that and not another perimenopausal thing. It was like a whole thing. And I was like really triggered yesterday. Partly I felt like I wasn't being heard. And I'm like, I really know myself and my body. Although I did not know I had high blood pressure, which, they call it the silent killer for a reason. So anyway, all of this is to say, it doesn't serve our highest path as cycle breakers to have any judgment in our system. So we need support, and that's what I provide for my clients in reframing the illness, the pain, the wound, the issue in the tissue, and wrap it in self-compassion. That's why I love IET, the integrative energy therapy, which is one of the that's one of the energy medicines that I work with in my coaching programs with my clients, right? I actually teach you how to give yourself angel healing every single day. And that consistency, that daily devotion is what creates the transformation. That's what creates the healing. And I'm in the process of that right now with my high blood pressure. And actually, I took a chakra workshop, which was so fascinating, fun on Saturday. And I learned so much. And I'm like, I've been studying the chakras for decades. And it was and I got like a couple of downloads that I needed for my personal practice to help lower the blood pressure. And an awareness of deeper work that I need to do with my inner child. And it was so healing. It was so enlightening. I was so grateful. And yeah, I went back to a beginner's class and I learned so much, right? So it's that beginner's mind, that non-judgmental mind. Who's in my reading today? Master Buddha, increased awareness, right? That Buddha mind, right? Of equanimity, of stillness, of compassion, right? One of the masters of compassion. How did the Buddha ascend? Right? He had compassion for everything. Every wound, every samskara, every self-judgment, his whole entire being within himself. And then that became this compassion that spread out through the world. So if you consider yourself an earth angel and a cycle breaker, if you're here, you are. This is the practice, right? I'm devoted to receiving self-compassion from my angels every single time you judge yourself, your pain, your illness, your wound, or someone else, right? It's like you got to catch yourself doing it. So I hope this resonates. So examples of compassion in illness, right? Chronic pain for some of my clients, right? Chronic pain was eased when a client shifted from I'm broken to my body is asking for gentleness. I was just talking about this with the client yesterday. One of the things that the angels taught me, and I wrote about in my book, was when your body is ill or injured, it's not sabotaging you. It's not punishing you. It just needs more love. Like, oh, right? And then, well, how do I get that love? Relax, release, receive. Right? Do your daily practice. And if you need help with it, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you create your own customized, personalized daily practice of receiving love from your angels, of channeling the angelic energy of compassion into that pain. I'm telling you, it feels good, right? Autoimmune flares softened when another client released shame about being sensitive, right? And shifted into like, whoa, this is my gift. This is my medicine. And in a couple podcasts, maybe next podcast, I'll talk about vulnerability as a superpower. Depression began to lift when my client stopped judging the sadness, right? Why am I still sad about this? Why am I still holding on to this? And allowed angelic love to meet them there, right? So we can hold, this is what I feel confident about, any and every part of ourselves. Every illness is connected with a part of us. And we can unblend and create space between us and the part. This is a big part of what I do with my clients. And then dialogue with that part, understand what it's really about, like the source, the origin, the core of that part's pain. And then use the energy medicine to dissolve it, shift it, heal it, clear it. I mean, that's what I do. And it's a gift. I have gifts that I'm sharing, but it's also a gift to witness people healing, witness my clients feeling relief, feeling lighter, feeling connected, feeling relief, feeling in the flow, feeling great. I just had a client yesterday. We had a call, one of my Raise Your Vibration calls, and she's like, I feel really great. I'm like, yeah. Holy cow. From where she was when she started to now, and she's feeling great. I'm like, let's do this. So then we had such a beautiful call where I helped her, what does it look like to go deeper? That was what we talked about. And it was really beautiful. Cancer treatment felt more bearable when a client chose compassion over blame, right? Walking her personal path with self-respect, with self-trust, and with self-compassion. So let's do a little inner journey to ask your angels a question about suspending judgment. So taking a deep breath in, placing your hands on your heart, dropping your energetic roots deep, deep, deep into the earth. Feeling the support of Pachamama below, and letting that connection ground you, center you. And let's welcome your angels here, your angels and guardian angels, your allies. We welcome Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Ariel, feeling also Archangel Zadkiel. We welcome all the healing angels that love you unconditionally to be here now, the heart of source. And as soon as I said that, I just see this pearlescent white light flowing from the heart of source, flowing from the heart of your guardian angels down your center channel, down the Sushumna, right? The largest nadi in the body, down the chakras, through your whole body, this pearlescent white light. And you can relax your hands. As the pearlescent white light flows in, let it flow into, I'm going to let it flow into the high blood pressure, how that's affecting my body, and into my Crohn's, into my gut. Allowing that to relax you physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, on all levels. And then we ask from a space of curiosity, from a space of heart-centered stillness, loving angels, where in my life are you inviting me to suspend judgment of myself, possibly even of somewhere else, of someone else? Where in my life are you inviting me to suspend judgment? Oh, I'm getting a lot of downloads. It's almost like they're plucking the judgment off of different like parts of my business and of course my ailments, which I've been working with. So here's where you want to trust. Trust what you see. Trust it may be an image, a word, a memory, a feeling, a fragrance. Let your intuition receive, let your intuition guide you. With your hands on your heart, taking a breath, anchoring in the magical mantra, I am devoted to receiving love and self compassion from my angels. Just let your heart open. Let your mind align with divine mind. Let yourself receive your angels' love and self compassion for you. And I feel them sending that compassion to that space in your life where they've invited you to suspend judgment. Right. And when you're ready, we'll gently come back together, carrying this insight with you. And I would love to hear from you. I know many of you watch the replay. You can put it in the comments on the YouTube right channel or even in the Facebook because it's on Facebook as well. So remembering that illness is not punishment. You are not less spiritual or less worthy because you're experiencing pain. Suspending judgment is an act of radical love. And self compassion is the true medicine. It's the vibration that invites angelic miracles into your body and into your life, right? Because it's literally the shift from fear. What is a miracle? All a miracle is a shift from fear to love. So fear is the judgment that's heavy, love is the light. So I want to invite you to my free consult. So this is a priceless offering to have a free hour with me and the angels to look at your pain from a different perspective, from the angelic perspective, to understand what your pain is really about, because oftentimes we think it's this, but it's really this. Understanding the spiritual meaning of the pain, the mystical meaning of the pain, right? We create this like diagnosis. Which chakra is it? Right? And what archangel's going to help you with it? Right? What color, what energy, what medicine? In that call, in that consult, I actually help you create your fuel. So you walk away with your fuel, you walk away with the angelic perspective of your pain, you walk away with an archangel that is going to walk by your side as you heal and move forward. And then if we're a good fit, I share the details of my coaching program with you. Right now, I only have a few openings in my coaching practice. So I would love to have this conversation with you. If what I shared today resonated with you, if you feel like you're a cycle breaker, if you feel like you're an earth angel who's ready to end the pain once and for all and to have a gentle, loving way to do that. So this conversation is, it's compassionate, it's heartfelt, and it's filled with so many gems, because that's really what it's about. The work that I do with my coaching clients, it's an investment in finding the gem of that pain. So, I mean, that's good and it sounds great, and yeah, for sure. So you don't have to experience that pain ever again. That's my mission. That's my commitment. So I want to acknowledge what a brave and vulnerable step it is to say yes to healing these deep wounds and pain. This work is not for the faint of heart, right? So I'm here to serve those powerful cycle breakers and earth angels who are ready to end the suffering from their pain once and for all, for you and then for your whole lineage. So I'm going to pull a card and then we shall be done. I'm going to pull it from this amazing guardian angel deck because I feel like they were really here today. This is the Guardian Angel deck by Britta Bauman. It is so pretty. I just love holding it. Look at how pretty it is. These pretty purpley magenta. Is that like magenta? All right. How is it that you are easily suspending judgment of any pain or illness this week with the help of the angels? Suspending judgment, receiving self-compassion. Ooh, your throne. Cease seeking answers externally. Embrace accountability for your own fate. You are a light warrior designed to diverge from the norm. So I just talking about this. Find solace in your unique truth. So get up on your throne with your guardian angels and let yourself be filled with self-compassion, right? Because the self-compassion is what activates your unique truth. Self-compassion is what helps you be accountable. Remember what I said before, that self-compassion isn't self-pity or enabling unhealthy behaviors, right? It's fully seeing yourself. So that's the accountability for your own fate that the angels are talking about here. Self-compassion reminds you that the answers are within. Well, how do you get those answers that are within? Well, you want to meditate with your angels. You want to breathe. You want to keep devoting and redevoting to that divine connection. And self-compassion brings a sense of solace to your light warrior journey, right? So it's like you're a light warrior. So be on your unique throne this week. This isn't about being egotistical or selfish or narcissistic or any of that, right? This is like prioritizing your healing of that pain, of that wound into your medicine. And that's what I help cycle breakers and earth angels do. So I love you all. I'm so grateful for you. I have I have a few other offerings in September, but I'm pretty sure the angelic healing frequencies is booked tomorrow at there may be one spot open, but I'm pretty sure that's booked for the sound healing and energy healing at Inner Haven tomorrow. I have a beautiful women's retreat that's coming up, and it's called Angels and Intuition Activate Your Five Clairs. It's going to be a beautiful afternoon of working with the archangels to open your clairs in harmony. So you start to receive very clear messages, not just through your most powerful channel, but through all five channels. And it's going to be relaxing and healing and illuminating. I would love to see you and your angels there. It's Sunday, October 5th. All that information's on Facebook and my website, jillkempnerhealing.com. And if you're not on my newsletter, go to the bottom of every page of my website and sign up for my newsletter so that you stay connected to all this medicine. And I also send this replay in my newsletter. So yeah, let me know if you're ready for that consult. I'll put the short questionnaire in the comments and the women's retreat information. I love you all. Mwah. See you soon. Namaste. Thanks everyone. Bye, Kate. Bye, Amy. Namaste.